Hey guys. So I'm calling this one my midweek conversation. You know, I'm a writer and a speaker, but I have a question today. Has sadness ever overwhelmed you? Well, if it has, I want to have a conversation with you about how to talk yourself out of it. So, for me, it's a lot easier as a writer to have my information up so I can definitely read you something that has inspired this conversation that I'm having with you today. And it's also to bring up some fear. Now, it's not like I haven't done this before, but it's been so long since I've committed myself to go live, because I used to do it way back in the day and I used to be consistent with it. So I'm trying to be consistent. I'm trying to jump on here and, shed a little light on some things, give a positive spin on the mindset, positivity, mindfulness, mental health that so many people are dealing with right now. And so I want to be a positive experience for you, a positive way to get through the day, a positive way to be a self-soother, because that is definitely a part of what Pam wants to do for others, being able to sit in a place that no matter how you're feeling or what's going on in life, you will have the ability to jumpstart your mind, get out of that negative loop cycle kind of thing. Now, also, I use the Word of God, okay? So that helps me out a lot. And let me read you this right quick. I absolutely love the Message Bible, okay? You have to bear with me because, at 53, you wear glasses and you have the focals and all of the things, but they don't always serve you well. So if you see me taking off my glasses, have no fear. We'll work through it, okay? And this comes from Romans 15. Now, I can't give you the exact scripture in the Message Bible because it's a little bit harder, so they don't break it down like that. But here, I'm just going to read you a short passage that works and helps me out for myself and as it relates to others, okay? Those of us who are strong and able in the faith need to step in and lend a hand to those who falter. And not just do what is most convenient for us, because sometimes that we just want to do the easy part of it. And no, that's not what the word says. Sometimes you have to wade in with people for a long time. Sometimes you have to get into the mess so they can come out with a message, right? And you can come out with a message as well. Strength is for service, not for status. So when you decide that you're going to spend some time trying to help somebody out, trying to be a listening ear, trying to be an encouraging word, sometimes it may take a lot longer than you want it to, but that's why we have the word to give us the strength to do the hard stuff. Okay, so like I said, this one I'm calling, Has Sadness Overwhelmed You? How to talk your way out of it, because I think that is most important. Okay, so like I said, as a writer, I just, I write. I'm inspired and I like to read, because in that way you really get the message that I want to have a conversation with you about today. Okay. Well, we've all been there. That heavy, suffocating blanket of sadness. And it descends unexpectedly or slowly, creeping into every corner of your mind. I know you've had those moments when you just can't get something out of your head and your heart is heavy. It happens to all of us. It's more than just a fleeting bad moment. It's a profound sense of despair that can make even the simplest task feel monumental. Maybe it's the aftermath of a loss, the weight of chronic stress, or even those inexplainable days when gloom just sets in. I know for me, I need to see the sun. I don't know how people live in these places where the sun doesn't shine, or where it's just constantly foggy and all of those things. Because after a period of time, then it brings my mind to a place that is not very productive. Sorry, my cat is in here. And so having walked through depression, I recognize when things are getting too heavy for me, and I have to talk to myself. I have to say, so hey Pam, it's time for you to do something else. Okay, but we'll deep dive a little bit more into how we can change that thing around. When sadness truly overwhelms you, it can feel like there's no way out, that there truly is no light at the end of the tunnel. But here's a powerful truth. You're not powerless. One of the most underrated tools we possess is our own voice. And I truly believe that, because I have a podcast that is called Your Voice Matters. Because you alone have the ability to stand in for yourself, to switch that thought process, you know what I'm saying, and tell yourself that this too shall pass, and I'm not always going to be at this place in life. You have that ability to talk ourselves out of it. This isn't about denial or pretending things are fine. It's about actively engaging your mind to shift perspective, process emotions, and gently guide yourself towards a more hopeful state. That's important. The power of internal dialogue. This is how you use your voice. Now, I know a lot of us think it's about talking outside of ourselves, but no, it's that internal voice that is the most powerful thing that you have. When sadness takes over, our internal dialogue often becomes critical, negative loop. You've done it. You've done that thing over and over and over, thinking that you're going to get a different result because you think that you thought about it way too many times. Doesn't change the fact. But you actively got to do something to change that negative loop. It's telling us we're unworthy, that things won't get better, or that you're alone. The key to talking yourself out of it is to consciously interrupt that loop and replace it with a more constructive, compassionate narrative. Think about a friend that you're talking to, because you wouldn't dare hurt your friend's feelings. So you have to become that friend that needs to hear that compassionate conversation that you have with yourself. This isn't easy, especially when emotions are high, but it's a skill that can be developed. So we can be, excited about that, because even if it's not your first go-to move, it can be learned over time. Here's how to start. Acknowledge and don't judge. Okay, so I'm going to be honest. I am here with this right now, right? Because at 53, it is not the easiest thing or the most glamorous thing to get up out of the bed every single day. And I have been fighting myself, feeling bad because I don't have that positivity that I had when I was about 25. It's just not there. But I've been telling myself, so, hey, give yourself a little bit of grace, a little bit of mercy, and let's get this thing moving. Okay. So that's what I'm telling you today. Don't judge, don't just acknowledge it, but don't judge it. Okay. The first step isn't to fight the sadness, but to acknowledge it. Say to yourself, I am feeling incredibly sad right now. It's okay to feel this way. Validation. Now this is good. Now listen to this. Validation disarms the emotion. Judgment fuels it. So if you keep telling yourself, oh my God, I'm a bad person for feeling this way, and oh my God, I'm a child of God and I should be grateful, well, that's going to fuel that sadness, because you're going to constantly beat yourself up about something that sometimes you just really can't control all the time, okay? Or in that moment, you may not be able to control it, because this girl has thrown a lot of pity parties in her day. Okay, that's neither here nor there. Okay. By simply naming it without condemnation, you can create a tiny bit of space between you and the feeling. Did you hear that? You can create a tiny bit of space between you and the feeling by not condemning it, but simply acknowledging it. This is the foundation of compassionate self-talk. Challenge the narrative gently though, okay? Once you acknowledge the feeling, start questioning the negative thoughts that accompany it. If your mind says nothing ever goes right for me, ask yourself, is this really true? Because I'm not one that lives in that gray area. It's either black or white for me. And so what I'm suggesting to you right now is what I have to do on a constant daily basis. Can I think of one small thing that went right today or even this week? This isn't about forcing positivity, but about seeking balance and recognizing the cognitive distortion, like that all or nothing thing. You got to shift focus to what you can control. Now, I used to be a control freak, so girl is working through this. But there are small things that we can control that's going to change the narrative, that's going to make us feel a little bit better, and get us to that place of talking ourselves out of the negative loop, right? Often sadness stems from feeling helpless. Redirect that internal conversation to what is within your sphere of influence. I can't control the big problem, but I can control taking a shower right now, or I can send out that email right now, or I can call a friend right now. Focus on small, achievable actions that give you a sense of agency. Practice gratitude, even for the small things. This is huge. This is key, guys. When sadness weighs heavily, gratitude can feel impossible. Start microscopic. Doop. That means really small. I'm grateful for this warm blanket. I'm grateful for this quiet moment. I'm grateful for the taste of my coffee. Even the smallest acknowledgement can begin to rewire your brain towards appreciation, breaking the cycle of that negative rumination. Remind yourself of past resilience. You didn't been here before, and you didn't got past this. You got to remind yourself that you can sometimes use the past. This is my saying, right? And I love it. You got to use the past to pat yourself on the back to let you know that you're doing well right now. Pat yourself on the back. Sometimes you need it. Can't nobody else do it for you. They're not going to say it in the right way. They're not going to say it at the right time. And sometimes you got to be your own best friend in order to get yourself over that hurdle. Okay? Think back to other times you felt overwhelmed or sad. How did you get through it? What strengths did you call upon? Remind yourself, I've overcome tough times before, and I have the strength to navigate this too. This is building self-efficacy and reminds you of your inherent capability to cope. You have this within you. You just gotta sometimes deep down to draw it out, but it's within you. You have the ability to self-soothe. Okay. You don't always have to be validated by somebody else. What's one small step? When you're stuck, the biggest hurdle is often getting started. We all know that. Ask yourself, what is the one tiny, almost ridiculously small step I can take right now? This could be standing up, walking to the window, or sending a small text. Break down overwhelming tasks into minute actions. Make them less daunting, and it builds momentum. Future-oriented affirmations. Instead of dwelling on the past or present pain, gently guide your thoughts towards a more hopeful future. This feeling won't last forever. Nothing ever lasts forever. The thing that we can constantly rely on is change. Now, I'm not one that's big on change, but what I've learned over these many years is that change will come. Some of it good, some of it bad, but it will come. So this sadness too will pass. Things can get better. I am capable of finding joy again. There aren't these aren't empty platitudes, they're affirmations that steer your mind away from despair and towards possibility. The compassionate conversation. We all need this. Little acts of kindness go a long way, and sometimes it starts with you being that kind to yourself. Talking yourself out of overwhelming sadness isn't about being harsh or dismissive. It's about becoming your most, now listen to this is really good. It's about becoming your most compassionate friend and wisest mentor. Now you know that you're your best friend. You know how to be a good friend to yourself. And you are the wisest person in the room. So you don't always have to be validated by somebody else. You can deep dive into that self-soothing aspect of yourself, and you can give yourself the most praise, and you can make yourself feel the best. Because let me just tell you this. Okay, so the other day, well, if you don't know, I'm gonna tell you, I am a lover of sweets, right? So the other day I was feeling some sort of sadness, okay? And so I went into Walmart and got these little bitty confetti cupcakes. Oh my God, they made me feel the best. So it really can just be in that simple act of kindness to yourself. It requires patience, persistence, and a willingness to show up for yourself when you don't even feel like it most times. If those internal conversations prove difficult, or if sadness persists, now this is important, okay? Because I'm just simply having a conversation with you right now. I am no professional. What I tell people, I listen well and then I encourage, okay? Remember that it's a sign to reach out if it proves too difficult for you or the sadness persists. Talking to a trusted friend, family member, or mental health professional can provide invaluable external support and perspective. Now, I know for me, because what I'm telling you, I've done. I've had to talk to somebody. And it was a lot easier for me to talk to somebody that didn't know me, from Adam. So their job was only to listen to me and to allow me to use my voice to encourage and motivate me, and they were there to kind of direct or guide the conversation and ask some questions that needed to be answered, and to look at some things that really, if I was able to sit in it before going to them, well, that's the point of finding somebody else and hearing their perspective. It would have pushed me forward. Okay, so they're there to help you hear your own voice, to talk through the things that that hold your heart, that make you feel like you're the only person in the world that's going through this. But please understand that you're not. That we all have moments of sadness. Now, this is truly important though if it's persisting, because I've had to take medications for depression. I don't currently take anything now. Having a relationship with God, doing some other things. I use essential oils for, physical and the mental. So if you want to have a conversation about how that can help you, definitely talk to a girl. And I've been doing that since 2017. So essential oils have helped me to that end. Now, I never tell people to get off anything that you're taking. I'm telling you just simply what my journey was. And I just got to the point that I had to actually deal with some stuff. And I was able to do that based on having my relationship with God and telling him that if you don't do this for me, if you don't remove this depression and this sadness from me, then it simply can't be done. And he was faithful, and he was true, and he actually did that for me. So I was able to come off my medications over time. Okay. Now, I'm going to close this out. Your voice, both internal and external, is a powerful tool for healing. Learn to wield it with kindness. Be kind to yourself and with conviction, because that's where God comes in, because we understand that God never condemns, but he does convict. And you will find pathways through the deepest storms, because you know that Jesus is always in the storm with you. So I'm not going to keep you long, and I hope that this was beneficial. And if it was, subscribe, like, and share, and come back and have a conversation with a girl. And also check out the link in my bio, because I don't just, talk it. I try to walk the walk, and I have created some things that I think that will encourage you and motivate you along your journey. I am a wordsmith. That's the title I give myself. Okay. I have enjoyed writing ever since I was a little bitty girl, and I think I've gotten better over time, right? Because life experiences and the wisdom and dealing with loss and walking through situations where now I want to use my voice to help somebody else, because your mind is my mission. And I think being a self-soother is definitely needed, and it is most important in this day and time. So guys, hey, this is PM Mathis, your global indie author distributor. So come back and let's have a conversation. Okay guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye.